Hello, this is the Panculture News Flash. We're going to give you the news in a very small snippet. We're going to talk about 4 headlines today. So the first article we're going to talk about is about Pope Francis being in critical condition. He has a respiratory infection. And this is kind of a contradictory article. Frankly, they all are, because the doctors are saying one thing and some others are saying another. For example, here it states that one of the doctors has said that his condition is touch and go, given his age, and he has pre-existing lung disease. But he also states, for example, Pope Francis isn't out of danger, but his condition isn't life-threatening. How his condition is not life-threatening, I don't know. He goes on to say that there's a very serious risk of sepsis. Again, how that is not life-threatening, I don't know. Again, he goes on to explain that it could cause an infection that could lead to death. Okay, so again, very contradictory statements from doctors here. Here it says, Dr. Sergio Alfieri, head of medicine and surgery at Rome's Gemelli Hospital, said Friday the biggest threat facing Francis was some of the germs that are currently located in his respiratory system. They pass into the bloodstream, causing sepsis. Sepsis can lead to organ failure and, of course, death. So we'll be looking out for that. But I don't think it's good. I think it's very serious, especially at his age. And how long it's been. I think he's been sick for some time now, so yeah, not looking good. So we're not starting off very good. And the second story is also not a very joyous one. So here we're going to continue with our second story and more bad news. Gregg Popovich, the San Antonio Spurs head coach, won't be coming back this season after suffering a stroke back in November. He's been out since. San Antonio Spurs have not said when he will be coming back, which seems pretty reasonable to not expect anything from them, because he's had a stroke. And like it says here, he's been going through rehab, and I guess it's all depending on when that's done and how he is at the end. Just because he's in rehab does not mean he's going to come back 100% or ready or able to coach in the NBA. It goes on to say that this is his 29th season, 76 years old, the oldest and longest tenured head coach in the NBA, the all-time wins leader in the NBA, 5-time NBA champion, 3-time NBA head coach of the year. So we're continuing with the bad news. They go on to talk about some of the struggles for the San Antonio Spurs recently, with their assistant head coach, Mitch Johnson, taking over. And it hasn't been going well. Again, I don't know. I do not follow the NBA. And also the injuries to Victor Wembanyama. which compared to what's been going on with Gregg Popovich is really not comparable, is it? But just not very good news for the San Antonio Spurs as of late and this year. But I guess we're going to end our streak of bad news so far. Oh no, we do have another one. Some bad news for Marvel. But we're going to have some good news, at least for somebody, with our last article. Let's get started with the third headline. The Captain America box office drop-off projection. To be specific, Captain America Brave New World is projected to suffer the worst drop-off in MCU history. That's what this article says. It's projected to have a decline of 68%. Which is on par with the similar MCU films, similar drop-off rate, which is not a good thing. Here states some of the films: Doctor Strange in the Multiverse Madness, Thor, Love and Thunder, and Black Widow. They lost around 67% as well. They had a 67% drop-off rate. This is despite it having a very good weekend, the best weekend so far of 2025, but it's still projected to lose around 68% of its audience. This is despite all the promotions and advertising around the film by theaters like AMC, by Disney, by Marvel, by the Disney parks. So we'll see, but it's not good for this franchise, or universe I should say, that they're having these types of drop-offs. But we'll see. It's been some time since they've had some sustainable success. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so the last story we're going to talk about is this film called Ninja 2. It apparently has broken a record. It has become the highest grossing animated film ever. It has the record for breaking the $1 billion mark in one country. So others have broken the $1 billion mark, but it has been with international sales. This has broken the $1 billion mark in China alone, and it has broken the $1.5 billion mark total at the box office. It has become the biggest international animated hit of all time. The article goes into the intricacies of the film and gives you a small review. All that I'm going to give you from the article is that it apparently has some very good combat scenes and lowbrow humor, and it apparently takes a lot from Chinese mythology. It goes on about its accomplishments. It apparently has made it to the top 10 all-time worldwide box office hits and is projected to pass films like Star Wars The Force Awakens and Avengers Infinity War. Now the first film, this is Ninja 2, so of course there's a Ninja 1. You can watch that film for free on Roku, and this is not a promotion, this is just for the curious. And you can rent it on Amazon and Fandango. So, a very curious story about the success of Chinese animation and the Chinese film industry. So, at least a good story for somebody. We're going to finish with that. So if you please would give me a like and subscribe, that would be very much appreciated.